just have a wine yet. Like, what are we doing?
I just don't care.
Corey Graves, the ignorant slut. Cannot pronounce the word. Tuesday drive. He says Tuesday grass.
Welcome to This is a Takeover. My name is Shelby Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
And we're doing things a little bit different today.
We're switching it up.
We are. As you probably noticed, we haven't had a episode in our feed for a while.
No, we have not.
We've had some scheduling issues, which is why we have This is a Works, Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes here with us today. How are you doing, Chris?
I don't know what happened. I think I came on the wrong night.
I think
No, I think
Robert, you
correct.
sound different.
I my voice got a little bit higher. Let's see if I can get down a little bit lower. I grow a beard real quick.
The face you made, that was Robert's face, spot on.
Thank you.
It was great.
I'm trying to advocate for us to get video, but
Yes.
David says no.
But yes, Robert is not here because he is currently in rehearsal for a show at Theater Charlotte, which is Baskerville. So he is in rehearsal pretty much every day except for Friday.
Yeah, so I don't think you need to tell him to not listen to this because he's not going to be able to watch. Has he watched the full show?
We finished it.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
No,
I
we
remember
finished it. We
him
got it.
telling me that.
I didn't allow him.
Oh.
No, I said, no, we're finishing this.
So listeners, he was going to wait until Friday. It is now Wednesday after the pay-per-view that happened this past Sunday.
Yeah, no.
He was going to wait until Friday to watch it. And I'm like, you can't stay off of Twitter that long, my dude.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Surprisingly, he actually did.
Well, that's because he deletes the app off of his phone.
Yes.
If he can't watch
Yes.
it. Which, I mean, I think is a good strategy for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, it's smart because Monday when I opened up the app before I went to finish the pay-per-view, front and center, I saw the surprise of the end of the show.
Yeah. Oh.
Absolutely. I actually was on.
Which spoilers don't really bother me, but it's just like, oh,
Like,
there it is.
That's
yeah.
why I did
okay.
that. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, well, we'll get into that
Yeah.
because we're actually doing a double show, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, double stuff.
Strap in.
We are doing a doubleheader of NXT's No Mercy and AEW's WrestleDream. Now,
This is a workover.
this is a workover, is what we're tentatively calling it. Now, as you know, a lot of our episodes are recap episodes. We are not recapping every single one of these matches.
Because we want to go
One of these was an
home.
AEW pay-per-view. You're fucking insane.
If you think that's what we're going to do, you could just skip this episode.
Yeah.
Because we are definitely not doing that.
No.
We are doing this on a school night, guys. We have shit to do tomorrow.
Yeah, it hits different when, you know.
When you're an
20s.
adult?
Yeah, no.
No, in your 20s, you could watch these pay-per-views
yeah,
and
no.
you would be totally fine.
Yeah, no,
I am
I'm not fine.
I'm a little disappointed that it was that the WrestleDream was running on a pose and they still ran it on a Sunday night.
Dude.
I did not understand that. I mean,
Tony.
they did have No Mercy that Saturday before.
Yes.
Which they don't care though. They have run shows
Absolutely.
congruent with WWE
Besides-
all the time.
They're not competitors.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They don't compete against
WWE
each other.
Except for the upcoming week where they're going to be.
Yeah, right.
Yes, we
And
will.
legally they can't, or they are competitors now. But that's another story.
Well,
Never mind. Anyway.
we will get to that later on, but I think we're going to go through No Mercy first.
Yes.
And I know Chris, you don't know much about NXT, but you can follow along because
They do wrestling, right?
they do.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
All right, think I'm on track. now.
There's
No, I didn't watch it, but I'm interested to hear what happened because I did hear bits and pieces about that.
There
too.
will be some names that you recognize.
Oh, goody.
Because NXT has now become basically just the main roster playground.
Everyone's like, oh,
I have been noticing that. Yeah.
It's like, when you graduate from high school and you're in college and you think it's
pop
cool
back
to
in.
just
Yeah.
pop back into your high school
but I'm
thinking
so
that
cool.
like everybody will think you're cool and everything. I feel this is what this reminds me of.
Yes.
Like it's people who have graduated and gone on to do like really good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they come back and there's a whole new crop of people and
it's like,
they
wait,
do
what?
not care
Yeah.
about what you've done at all.
Not at all.
And that's kind of what it feels like a little
That is
bit.
an incredibly apt description.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have Becky Lynch on this card. We have Dominic Mysterio, which granted he was never in NXT, but
Yeah.
still he can be in that group.
Yeah.
And Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin has now had 2 matches on a takeover back to back. Like, we're not going to talk about the first one because the first one was terrible.
I don't know if
but
y'all heard that, but that blink was loud. That
Like,
blink I just gave
if
was
you would have
loud.
told me that Baron Corbin would have gotten a Baron Corbin chant during a match in 2023, I would have laughed at you. Like, if you would have told me that like 4 or 5 years ago.
No.
But yeah, he got Baron Corbin chants during
What
this match.
incredible alternate universe is this from?
It is nuts.
No.
So we were thinking we could just like do a short recap
Like
of
little bullets of each one, because there's only 5 or 6 matches.
yes, because
so.
we have. I know this is really mean, but I don't acknowledge pre-show matches. I really don't.
We used to, and it's just like now at this point, it's like we ain't got the time for it, man.
I don't know if it's with having a kid, and now when I'm watching, I have her on top of trying to pay attention. I don't get into them at all, and especially with WWE when there's only one, right? So the majority of it is just talking heads, right? And which normal WWE pay-per-views, that's how their pre-show is.
I hate
And
it.
it's also
I hate it
that's-
so much.
Oh, I know.
That
So
stupid
it's like,
man I hate so much with all of my soul.
oh, is it? Oh God, why am I blanking on his name?
Good.
Sam Roberts. Sorry.
She did it. She remembered.
That was immediate.
When
I
it
looked
came
over,
to
I was
something
like,
that
yes.
hurts
I
you the
looked-
most, you
I looked
remembered it
right
immediately.
In your eyes,
That's
and then
a-
you said it. and
That's
I
a
was
true
like,
best friend move right there, Chris.
Hurt my
Her,
soul.
look straight in
dude.
your eyes. Her eyes glinted a little. As
I
she,
know. I was
Hey,
like,
but he shaved his head though, Gina.
That's
like,
not the problem.
getting
I
a new
have with
look.
him.
He
Don't
probably,
give a
I don't think he
shit
took enough
about
off the
his
top.
head.
It was still there.
Oh.
but yeah, so there was a pre-show match for this. It was Blair Davenport and Kalani James, I
Yes.
think was her name.
Yes.
It was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't acknowledge that it happened.
That's what it was, and that's where we were at.
Yeah. So then I wrote down just like the matches that we had. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Now,
Yeah.
this match was actually a lot better than it should have been.
Yeah.
But I think it's because everybody rags on Corbin so much, and but he is one of the best workers
Best humans
that they have right now.
Best humans, I hear, backstage.
Yeah.
Like just as a normal guy.
I'm
just-
assuming that's why they've sent him to NXT to help get these people, get everybody prepped for moving on to the main rosters.
Yeah, because he can get them over.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
he got a win this time,
Which
but
what?
he really put Braun over. Like he really
Yeah.
did him solid. Like it was
Yeah.
a very, very good match.
It was a toe-to-toe match.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people forget losses also get people over.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what?
There's plenty of people who is like, when their guy loses, they're like, oh, they're buried. It's like, no, this is how it goes.
I mean, there's so many people I immediately come to, like that come to my mind, are that person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of them just got dropped because of the.
yeah.
Yeah, you thought I wasn't going to talk about that? Yeah. I
Oh
brought
no,
it up.
we're definitely talking about it.
I
'cause
brought it up.
It's part of our discussion. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was really, really good
Vroom,
and
vroom,
fun.
motorcycle, vroom, vroom.
Oh yes, he did the underbiker entrance.
Is that really what
Baron
it was
Corbin
called?
or-
That's what he was colloquially called, right?
Oh.
He wasn't really called the underbiker, right?
no, but that was the internet's nickname for him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
No, I would.
Some people went with biker taker too.
biker taker's a
But
good one.
underbiker really flows better.
I like underbiker better.
Oh, we can't pay for that song. No.
Yeah,
not
don't
gonna say
sing
no.
anything.
Nothing,
We don't
nothing.
have the budget for anything.
I was coughing.
So yeah,
Side note: did y'all ever hear his version, his biker theme, when they stopped having the rights for Kid Rock?
no.
Because there is one. You have to look it up. It's literally called Dead Man Walking for some reason.
but he was riding.
Yeah, no, he
okay,
rode
yeah,
on a
sure.
motorcycle, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's really funny.
That's a good day. Yeah.
But yeah, so he came in on a motorcycle
Vroom, vroom.
and
Wait, was it Corbin?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
and he rode down the ramp around the ring. Like it was actually pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was
So he kind of went back to his original NXT gimmick. then
Yes, and
somewhat.
that's
Yes, so
kind of
it
his
is- it
big
is-
transformation.
basically the same thing. His tagline is a little bit different. It's "Burn all ships" is what he goes by now, and not the lone wolf.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's basically the same
it's
thing.
a mashup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just that without the long greasy hair.
Thank goodness.
That was the best thing that ever happened to him, was
Yeah.
someone convincing him to take the hair off.
It's very true. Yeah. So then we have the tag team match, which this was a 4-way tag match. It was the family. Oh God, I didn't write all of them down. I just wrote the family.
I got it. The family, so the Creed brothers, Garza and Umberto for the...
Is it Los Lotharios?
Yes, and then OTM. That was the Bronco Nima and Lucien.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucien Price.
Yeah, so it's a 4-way.
With scripts.
Oh, with scripts.
It says with scripts.
So do you remember Reggie, Chris?
Yes. Yeah, okay.
So he's in NXT.
Okay.
And he now goes by Scripts.
Scripts with a Y.
So still a major step up from wine sommelier.
Hey.
From
That is-
personal sommelier.
Personal sommelier to Carmella.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's doing that now. And he's
Okay.
a manager for this tag team.
All right.
But this one was also better than we thought it was going to be. This one
Definitely.
was one that we were just like, oh, it's a 4-way
It's
tag.
a-
They don't really do much with the tag division. Like, it's not going to be like super great.
I was like, this is going to be between the Creeds and the,
And the family.
and that's it.
But this was, I mean, it was, the story in this one was the most compelling part because they had an injury angle that legit had all of us questioning if
We
it was real or not.
really
Oh,
did
those
stare-
are always interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
you and I both were looking at each other like, no, wait, yes, no, what?
Because they did the thing where us as, people, they call us marks, whatever you want to call us, like eagle-eyed people know that if they turn the camera away from someone,
Yes.
it's a real injury.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like if the camera is
if they've
on them
stopped
and they're
featuring it, then
Yes.
it's not meant to be. It's
well,
like you're not
they've
supposed to.
caught
well,
on.
they
Yeah.
did that.
Oh yeah.
So what happened was
Well, that's because Owen voice stopped working.
exactly. What happened was Tony D, right?
Yeah, D'Angelo.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo. He came down and it looked like his knee just like buckled.
Yeah. I
And
don't know
he
how
like
did that.
crawled to the outside the ring. They had people come and check on him, and then they just, without commentary saying anything, just escorted him to the back.
So the thing that made it really sell, though, was that once he fell and he got to the corner, the Creed brothers were not the legal men.
Right.
But they looked over at him, and then they looked at each other, and they just like got in. Like it looked really
Gotcha.
impromptu, and so we
Yeah.
were like, "Oh crap!" Like he just absolutely busted his knee.
Yeah,
And so
they did. They did a really good job of
It
like
looked
faking
so
everybody out
real.
because they kind of like looked like they had a little powwow, like telepathy type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
We're like,
yeah.
okay, we got to get in here and like draw the attention away from him because
Yeah.
he's injured.
Yeah.
So they take him to the back. The match goes on.
He's like barely able to like hold
is
anything on his knee.
barely able to like hold on to the match, and they have the title. So it's like him against like everybody, and they're all ganging up on him.
Ah, gotcha.
And then Tony, with a brace on,
Like full huge leg brace.
like
Yeah.
comes out, and they end up winning the match.
it was awesome.
Nice.
It
really
was.
awesome.
They had everybody fooled because I'm like,
Nice,
once he
yeah.
came, I was like, if he comes back out, it's a work.
Yeah.
Like if he actually comes back out, like this was not a thing. And about the time that I said that, here he comes, like leg brace and all, but he's still limping, like still selling it.
Yeah.
And it, I mean, it was great.
If you had told me that man would convince me that he was like that he had real acting chops,
Yeah.
nah, I crapped on him
That's
so
a sign
much.
of like newer generation of
Yes.
producers in the back.
Yes.
Who,
Yeah.
who are like they figure out how to get
Fresh
meta.
eyes, fresh
They know the
faces,
meta.
yes.
They know it's like, oh yeah, no, you like, you know how we do this when it's actually serious. Do it.
Yeah. And it was great. Like it was
Yeah.
really great. So the family retains
Nice.
under all the odds. But
That
then
was a 12-minute match.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Yeah, so then we can talk about the Heritage Cup for a second, and then we can move on.
They did it again.
They did it again, guys.
It sucks. It's no MDAR, whatever. Yay, whatever.
They
We
really
can move
did.
the hell on.
Basically, do you know about the Heritage Cup, Chris? Have you heard of it?
I'm not overly familiar.
Okay,
Okay.
so basically, the long and short of it is, it was over in UK, over at NXT UK.
Very prestigious.
And it was kind of like how the ROH Pure title is. Like,
Okay.
it's like the pure rules. Like,
Right,
there's,
right, okay.
you know,
It's the match I'm probably going to tune out of the hardest.
probably. And
Gonna
most
be
people
honest.
do.
Gonna be honest.
Yeah, most
'Cause
people do.
I respect that there are people who love the very technical, very much. It's all about the wrestling kind of thing. But that's fine. That's not my. I'm very much a story. Give me a good story person.
Yeah, see,
And it's
I'm very much
100%.
the same until I saw the Heritage Cup
no,
and
no.
the way that it's done.
Yeah,
it was so fun. 'cause
Those
they
matches are great because the story develops as what's happening in the ring.
Yes.
Exactly. And the way that they portrayed it in UK was just so much fun. And then they brought it over here, and now they're treating it just like any other belt or title.
I saw something briefly about that. Yeah,
It's
they're
crap,
treating
man.
it as something that you can win and hold on to like a championship.
Yeah,
Which, I mean,
which
yes,
is kind
technically.
of the case, but there wouldn't be shenanigans involved. There wouldn't be
No.
the ref getting distracted. Like if anybody was even allowed to be ringside, which normally that's
No.
not the case.
No.
If they were watched like a hawk, if they even thought about stepping up onto the ring apron, they would be thrown out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right. Like,
this whole
it's-
distracting of the ref thing that they do with it now, like it just kind of goes against like everything.
They should honestly go even further and insert some of the actual old school kayfabe rules. Like if you can't jump off the top turnbuckle, or if you go over the top rope, you're disqualified.
Look, honestly,
or-
then a lot of the
I would just
Yeah.
like to get a list of the craziest ones that were ever instituted and just be.
I mean, I think for the pure title where they have you can only do 3 rope breaks,
oh man,
right? And they count them.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
it that's kind of a cool rule that I wish that
I-
they would have into effect for the Heritage Cup. But yeah, it's not the same as it used to be, and I know that sounds really like me trying to fish for nostalgia.
same.
But it's not the same as when I was a kid. But yeah,
They're messing with your heritage.
thank you. You get it. You understand. My whole thing is if you're not gonna play by the rules, then just
Get out.
don't have
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
like just don't do it. And it just sucks. And Noam Dar
That was-
and I was sad because
It's
it was
also-
Butch, formerly
Aw.
known as Pete Dunne.
Yes.
Morton.
And I was really I picked him
Of
to
course.
win because
Yeah.
I was like,
thank God it's gonna go back to the way that it was.
right, because
Nope.
he had been in that tournament before and competed for that cup before. So I was like, oh, great. Finally someone who's in there
And
who
he was
knows what to
following
do.
all the rules, of course.
Yeah, but
It's just and
Like a
that's the thing.
sucker.
The thing
Apparently.
is- I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be it. That's the only way any of those people are staying alive and relevant, though.
oh,
That's
absolutely.
it.
Because
Like not Pete Dunne.
No.
Or not. Sorry, Butch. Not Butch. But
I like that they've mostly walked that back. It's like literally it's just the name at this point.
I
no, he was like, what are you
know.
talking about? He's never been Pete Dunne. He's always been Butch.
No.
And I'm like, no, don't erase his history.
no.
Like, don't erase it.
No.
He's been cheekily signing his tweets as Butch for a while now.
Oh, I
Get-
know.
Look, as long as he's happy.
Yeah, as long as he's cool with it,
Yeah.
I guess.
You-
I don't believe it, listeners, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, that's all that we really can
No, I'm
say
there
about
one.
that.
Admittedly,
my
Butch is
bullshit.
dumb, but I've never been high on the bruiserweight either. But
Yeah, it is kind of silly too.
yeah, that was-
but it's a
that
better
was-
sell than Butch.
That's very
Yes. Okay.
true. So we can move on from that one and talk about Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams
That's
for
dirty
the.
Dom to you.
I refuse. I said this on the last pay-per-view, and I'm sticking by my convictions. I am not calling him that. I'm not doing it. It's the same as people calling people daddy. I can't
You said
do
the
it.
word.
Because I said it out of context. I said it out of context. I
I
can't.
apologize for opening this can of worms.
You know what you did.
I did not actually.
She said the word. That's so funny.
Out of context, Gina.
You, in some contexts, you wouldn't even
Dave,
say
isolate the word, please.
it. Auto-tune it.
I hate it.
He's not going to listen to this. Don't worry.
Daddy.
No, he's not. He's not going to listen to this. But yes, this one was also better than I thought it was going to
Yes,
be.
big surprise.
I have really come around to Dominic, but I still kind of see him as the like fourth member of
Yeah,
the Judgment
yeah.
Day. You know, like he's
fourth, like junior member.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, junior member, that describes him a lot better.
He's the Cub reporter.
Like that bit in American Dad with the little junior reporter standing outside the car crash.
It's like when the firemen give the kid the plastic fireman helmet.
Oh, to make him feel included. Yeah,
he's on the team too.
Oh, I love that for him. But I really feel like he has developed this character that is just, I mean, the crowd just hates him.
It's so like it's so good. Yeah, it's
every episode of Raw or SmackDown or wherever he is, they boo him out of the building.
I think the only person who gets more boos than him is Don Callis, and I think that's honestly it.
Honestly, this past week on Raw, you could not even hear anything that he was saying.
Insane.
It was so deafening that Priest literally just was like, put his hand on his chest and was like, dude, no, just stop. We're just going to move on.
More, man.
It's hilarious because people are almost cool with the Judgment Day, even though they're not. They're still the heels. But it's like as soon as Dominic says anything.
But I think it's cool to boo him now.
It is. It's fun.
You know, like it has become a thing to do.
That's something I'm going to talk about when we switch over to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the crowd's into it, and the crowd's supporting it. Like it's like they like him. And they respect the fact that he's someone they're supposed to hate, so they're into it.
I mean, it's Kurt Angle. You suck.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's how you know that you have tapped into a really good character, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though the audience is supposed to hate you,
people cannot wait to go, this guy, boo!
Exactly. They can't wait to tell you how much you suck, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's what he's tapped into, and
we're proud of him.
He's embraced that, which I feel like some people who don't like to be booed would kind of not be able to run with that.
No names.
Oh, Cody Rhodes, for sure. Sorry. Had to say it.
I was thinking Ronda, but that works.
No, Cody Rhodes went on record and was like, I don't want to be a heel. I don't want people to boo me.
Despite being phenomenal at it. I mean,
he has the look.
Apparently, and it's funny how his big image now is like one of the most easily hateable things if you just tweaked it slightly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he has a huge ass neck tattoo, for goodness sakes. Like that, you could just play off of that as a character choice. But yeah, with Dominic, I feel he's really like leaned into it, which coming to NXT, he actually doesn't get as many boos as he does on like main roster shows.
Yeah,
fucking smarks.
Because they get it, right? They're like, hey, I respect you as a character, bro.
Well, if they respected it, they boo him.
That's true. You go along, you sheep. Like bah.
This is an interactive play. You lean in.
You go along, sheep.
Exactly.
It's just the Baz boo, you know.
Boo.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Oh.
But I was really happy that Trick won this.
Dude,
like
he also has come like a long way.
I was so happy because like him and Mello kind of like did the whole New Day split, right? Where they're like, okay, we didn't have a falling out, but we just kind of both want to go our separate ways, but we're still like bros.
Yeah.
Like we're still cool with each other.
I like that, and more teams need to do that.
I think so too. Like it's
just like it's like life. Things don't work out sometimes.
The New Day has yet to implode, right? And I don't think they ever will.
I think they would fight that as hard as they ever could.
I think they have, which is why it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So I think with Carmelo and Trick, like it makes sense because they were like best buds, but they're like, okay, well, unless we go for the tag titles, like we kind of need to break off, from one another. Because Carmelo had the...
Don't have to break up, just take a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And... because Carmelo had the NXT title, and he was like, I really want to go for the North American. Now, I do want to bring up the elephant in the room, which is Mustafa Ali. Because apparently Mustafa was slated to be in this spot that Trick is in.
He was
so
came out that he was supposed to win.
The week before.
Yeah.
But a week before No Mercy, he is fired.
Just
and which is just ridiculous to me, just because he had finally gotten to like showcase this character that he's been trying to pitch
forever.
Yeah.
And apparently it upset a lot of people behind the scenes because they were like, we have plans for him.
The reason why they were so upset was not only was he supposed to win this, they had plans for him through March of 2024.
Damn.
So he was either going to keep the belt for that long, or he was going to be in the running for the belt for that long.
Hunter.
Or even probably go for the NXT title.
Sadly, it was out of his hands. It was.
So it wasn't him?
I don't think that he was the main player in this one.
Take it back.
But still,
But
it was a shock to everybody because
Yeah.
he was on the graphic and for the
Yeah.
match and everything.
I mean, in the middle of full storyline characters development stuff. Like,
So good on Trick for just being able to like be thrown into this title picture without really any build up whatsoever, and still make it like a really compelling
And
match.
poor Dragon Lee too. Shout out to him.
Because it was supposed to be a triple threat
Yeah.
Oh.
with Mustafa, Dragon Lee, and Dominic.
Yeah.
But
Almost
then
said Damien.
Damien.
That'd be cool too.
That actually
though.
I would be down for that
That'd
one
be
too.
awesome.
Well,
but-
I'm glad this title changes had lasting implications.
Yes and no, because as of this recording,
Oh, I know. I know the answer.
Trick Williams has now lost the North American title back to Dominic Mysterio as of last night. So
Guys.
I know.
I just-
I was when I'm on. I was on Twitter as I am every night usually, and so on the night when like Raw is happening, stuff will filter in that people are reposting from Raw, and so I got the snippet of the promo where Rhea told him if you don't, you've got a rematch for the title. If you don't win, don't bother coming home. It's like, okay, yeah,
He's winning.
He's
Yeah,
winning. He's taking it
Yeah.
back because I don't think they're kicking him out of Judgment Day yet.
Yeah,
not yet. No,
That would be.
I don't know. I feel like
That sucks.
this wasn't the plan.
No.
Oh no.
Scramble.
And they already had that promo probably set up,
Oh, probably.
so he was gonna have to lose it. But I just feel like it's too soon. Like
It's
it's
not
not even been a week
No.
that he's had that title. And to me, I've said this on this show before. Like when you have, I don't think you should have extremely long title reigns. Like I don't think everybody needs to be in Roman Reigns territory
Ever again.
ever again.
Ever again.
Amen.
We're still in it. We're still living in
It
the Roman
is-
era.
It's the it's
Our
that-
grandchildren.
Well, see, that kind of thing is like when they finally take it off of him, he's gonna be number 2 behind Bruno Sammartino, whose reign is a vestige of the territory days when, because of how it was set up, he was a viable champion for 7 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, but it made sense
That's
for
what I'm
that.
saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Because of how it was set up and how, word of mouth spread and how they had to work the territory. Yes, he was a champion for 7 years. It made sense. Roman does not need to be a
No.
champion anymore.
No, and so I'm definitely not saying that every title reign needs to be super duper long.
Right.
But the more times that you have someone like switching titles, I feel like the title itself loses some type of like,
Well, not even the title,
Clout.
but the person who had it before.
yeah.
Like,
Don't remember.
They were a
don't
champion 10
look
seconds
into
ago?
a lot of the Attitude Era then, because they were hot-shotting titles like it was going out of style.
Which I understand. I know that there's merit to both, but at the same time, to me right now in this era that we're in,
There's a
especially for
medium.
NXT.
There's
Yeah.
a medium, and
Yeah.
there's plenty of reason for. I mean, we don't have to go back too far. It was the what was it, the Lesnar Goldberg feud where they would basically hotshot the title
Yeah.
in a matter of
Yeah.
less than 5 minutes to each other per match. I'm being generous with that.
That is
You
true.
are, yeah.
Someone did the math, and they said that on Goldberg's last run, I believe the amount of time he actually wrestled was under an hour.
combined,
Yes,
oh my gosh.
and I may be too high with that. It could be- like it may not even be 50 minutes. if
Wow.
I just can't
Gracious.
remember the number exactly.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So like you said, there is a middle ground.
There is.
Right? Like
Yeah.
he could have held it for like another week,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to take it off of him immediately after the
They could
pay-per-view.
have had him in the doghouse.
Dominic's-
Dominic could have been in the
well,
doghouse
that-
for a
Or
while.
just waited
Yeah.
another week or so to do that promo.
But that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. They could have just set that date to any other NXT.
And it would have been
Yeah.
hilarious to watch him be like, "Mommy, wait, come back," and like she's like totally not looking at it. Like,
Oh yeah. She's
Anyway.
icing him out for the whole time
Yeah.
until he wins it back.
Well,
Exactly.
whatever. But anywho,
You know, they could hire us, you know, to write for them, but, you know,
Because actually,
they're too scared.
him.
they realize we're too good for them.
Well, no. See, here's the thing. Him winning it back does do something for his storyline.
Sure.
That I think is good, which is, if they go this route, is now he realizes that the love he gets from Rhea is conditional. It's very conditional.
That is true.
That is true. But then, like, where does that leave Trick, though?
Yeah,
Don't
that's
know.
the only thing.
They didn't think about that at all.
They didn't. No. And yeah. So I think
'Cause that
from
was-
this
yeah.
match perspective,
Yeah.
I think it was a very, very good match. And for
For what it could.
what it could have been, I think we were robbed of the actual match that we were going to get, which was the triple threat.
Sorry, Mustafa.
But I think that what we got instead was still just as good.
yeah.
And it still told a very cohesive story, and it really did kind of have that feel good moment, because I don't think anybody was expecting Trick to win.
No.
Like, I put him down as my wrestle prediction, thinking that I was going to take an L on that one.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
But
I picked Dom.
yeah,
I didn't want to. But I, picked
I
Dom.
think everybody was thinking, oh, okay, we're just going to write this one off.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously going to keep it. But yeah, I mean, that one was up there as one of my matches that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
They all did great.
So I was actually shocked that this one wasn't the main, but I'm glad what was the main was the main. But this was Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov.
Y'all know how obsessed I am with this man. This crazy mofo Russian. I love this human. I do.
He calls, like, his tagline is "Long live the Tsar."
I love him.
So
man.
he is very much into, like, the Russian character.
This is very confusing.
Yes.
But not like back in the day, like the offensive Russian stereotype. Like,
Right,
not
no,
that.
I get
he's
it.
like got the Amadeus vibe.
Oh Lord,
So he's
crazy.
batshit.
an immense weirdo. Got it.
Yes.
So he comes down to the
He's
ring
like-
with these, like, red contacts.
and he's got like the Amadeus like fur lined jacket, and he's just conducting. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
He
I love him.
He's kind of that style. Like,
I was born in the wrong decade.
yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
and
So,
now he's got like the musketeer mustache and the beard. It's so good. It's so good.
so him and Walter Gunter,
Yes.
Oh my.
they have had like crazy back and forth feuds,
Some
and
of the
so
best feuds ever.
both of them kind of have the same style. So think of like Gunter, but like in a smaller package.
And then a little
like-
bit more projectile.
Kind of like how Darby, we were talking about this, him and Darby
Yes.
in a match would be batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Because he just torpedoes himself, like, with no regard for his body
Yeah.
autonomy at all.
Yeah.
And one of his finisher is literally just a diving forearm from the top rope.
Yeah.
But it's just literally like his arms and legs are fully out, but then he puts the forearm in at the last minute and just
Yeah.
hits you square in the jaw, and it knocks you out.
Gotcha.
It's as close as he can get to a headbutt without it being a headbutt.
Which
Oh,
he
those
did
aren't-
used to do those,
He
but
did.
he doesn't anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now
Yeah,
he can't.
WWE is kind of skittish on those now.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would be.
Well, yeah.
You know. But I mean,
Danielson.
all I can say about this
No.
one is just go watch it.
What?
You said Danielson. I said no.
I mean, just go watch this one, because this one we could go into beat by beat, but we don't have time.
No. Carmelo also, round of applause. Fantastic. Matching him. at the
Really
level.
great champion,
Yes.
honestly. And I think him dropping it to Ilya now
Yes.
is the best timing,
Which, by the way, yes, Ilya won. Yeah.
because I think Melo's going to go to the main roster.
You think so?
I do.
You think you
I
got
do,
it?
because if he retains, okay, he's going to stay for a while. But now with him having dropped it, I think they're going to just phase him out, because he was one of the ones with Braun who
Yes, who
was
did the
being
auditions
highly
and
looked at before
auditions.
Vince came back.
I said auditions.
And then Vince came back, and then all of the NXT call-ups kind of
oh.
like went back
I think
down.
you mean Vincente.
You mean Walt Disney?
Vince Disney.
Vince Disney.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. We talked about that in the last episode. Like, it's creepy as hell.
He looks like Walt Disney, like he would look in the unauthorized biography. Of
when
Walt
he
Disney.
got out of the cryo.
Yeah. No, this is that's like
Like the knockoff version.
Yeah, no, near the end of his life, the chain-smoking Disney who's glowering at animators,
Yeah.
Just
Telling
sunken
them
in cheeks.
telling them they're doing
Play
it wrong.
Feed the Birds
You want a
again.
union? You get out of here.
Exactly. But yeah, this one was really, really good. I would say for people to go back and watch this one for
10
sure.
out of 10 Regals.
Also, you need to watch the next one, which was the main event, which was Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton, which everybody wrote this one off. Everybody was like,
I sure did.
Becky's going to retain. This is going to be a 5-minute match. Like, they're not going to do anything. This is technically a rematch because
It's like another Bianca situation.
Exactly. Like, she beat Tiffany for the title on a random NXT, and now she wants her rematch. And they're like, okay, this is just going to be a blow off. And then they're like, oh, this is the main event because it's Extreme Rules match. And we're like, oh no.
Another dead thing from the main roster that NXT just grabbed onto.
We really love to do that.
Here's the thing. I'm not making fun of them for that. I think it's really great how NXT has kept alive a lot of the things that WWE has just essentially just put in the dustbin of wrestling history.
Well, because No Mercy used to be a pay-per-view
Yes,
that
it
was in
did.
rotation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it
was a
wasn't-
yearly.
It was a yearly?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just like a one-off that they did every few years.
I forget. It was around the early 2000s where they finally locked in. Like every month was a specific one. They stopped rotating essentially. And then after a while they would swap some in and out. But yeah, No Mercy was a regular one.
Okay.
To the point where I saw the NXT intro for it. It's like No Mercy was the name of one of the games because it was one of the one of the regular pay-per-views.
That's why there was the intro, because we didn't get to talk about the intro.
Yeah, so the intro was this awesome
of the whole pay-per-view.
retro video game of
In
No
64,
Mercy.
yep.
Yes, in 64.
It's considered one of the best wrestling games ever.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
okay.
For playability and fun, and everybody, I would honestly think, unless they did it from scratch, that they might have gone into N6 because you could create a character like in N64. They might have gone into the N64 and made all of the custom creator wrestlers for everybody.
Yeah, because what they did in the intro was they went in and you picked, each person for each match.
Yeah.
And like you do in a normal wrestling game. That is so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, because it was such a cool retro look to
They
it, but I didn't
emulated
realize that it
the
was a real
N64.
game.
No.
No Mercy was one of the best-selling wrestling games.
That is fantastic.
See,
this is fresh young eyes are here.
They did that with In Your House too, because
Yes.
I know In Your House was a pay-per-view.
That was their first real branding for pay-per-views, where it would be WWF In Your House, and then it would have a subtitle past that.
Okay.
It used to be In Your House, and they would give it an additional title to let you know what the big theming was.
Because with this one for No Mercy, there really wasn't an overall arching theme.
No.
Because back in the day for takeovers, it was just Takeover and wherever it was.
Yes.
Right? It was like Takeover New
Location.
York, Takeover Portland, Takeover Boston. It was. It
It's
was
a very
Reference
UFC
for
kind of
Portland.
thing.
well, yeah,
Kinda, yeah.
yeah, because that's kind of how I think Triple H kind of built the brand was
Yeah.
that we're the fighting brand.
The underground, yeah, because originally UFC was like that too, just the underground, very much out of the big radar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just recently when they've come back and stopped calling them takeovers is when they actually have names to them now.
Yeah.
But I feel
I really appreciate that NXT has taken the WCW stuff that they
Yes.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't have that Vince
heavy
is just kind of
influence.
you stinky, and
that you can go back and watch on Peacock,
you can
but
tell the people designing that you grew up or liked wrestling in some way,
Yes.
that they take a very, you can tell it's you can tell when Vince isn't watching, and they
Yes.
you can tell he's not watching anymore.
Yeah.
We can go back because the wrestling is actually good again,
Yes.
right? And the stories are good again.
Oh,
like
Lord.
this match in particular, I feel benefited from that because
Absolutely.
on paper, and if Vince was looking at this, this would have been easy a 5-minute match. They do a few submissions, and each one of them gets to do their finisher maybe once, and then they go home.
Yeah.
Right? But this was one of the best women's matches I think I have seen in a very long time.
Knockout, drag out, like
Nice.
I want to shout out Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany Stratton is she was a gymnast, really insane. You know, she does the most beautiful freaking. It's the moonsault, right?
Yep.
I've never seen a more beautiful moonsault in my life.
She calls it the prettiest moonsault in the world.
It really is. And
Because her whole thing is that she's hot, right?
Yeah,
And-
but
what she and Mandy Rose, how they differ is that like Tiffany actually is a really, really good wrestler.
She
Now
can
I
back
know a
it
lot
up,
of
man.
people will fight me on that and saying that Mandy was good. I think toward the end she got better.
Yes.
But Tiffany from the beginning has been like guns blazing,
She
like right
said
out the gate.
in the promo, she said that she has been here for only 2 years wrestling professionally. And she's already up against a main,
Nice.
literally
See,
one of the
that's-
main events. And that says something, man.
It does.
And with Becky,
She's crazy, dude.
And I mean, Becky is one of the best. So putting the best newcomer, and I don't want to call her an old timer, but you know what I mean, like
OG.
yeah,
OG NXT.
yeah,
Yes.
and then one of the OG women,
Yes.
like one of the 4 horsewomen,
Yes.
the only 4 horsewomen to not win the NXT title.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, she left NXT without actually winning
That's
it.
insane.
But yeah, there were moonsaults.
I mean,
and
she took so many kendo sticks.
yes,
like,
because Becky came down to because they showed her
Well,
at the
that's what
beginning.
Extreme Rules means in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
It means
Kendo sticks.
Kendo sticks.
But see, Becky went shopping backstage before the
was
show.
awesome.
She literally had a shopping cart, and
was
they
just-
showed her, and she was like, "Ooh, a kendo stick. Ooh, there's a chair over here."
And a
Ooh,
kendo stick.
trash can.
And
I don't
another
think
kendo stick.
I don't think I've gotten a kendo stick yet.
Oh my god.
But they used a lot more than kendo sticks in
Yes.
this
Oh,
one, so I'll give it to them.
Good, yeah.
Yes, but there were a lot of kendo stick shots, and Tiffany Stratton took a lot of
oh
them.
my gosh.
I
And
mean, kendo sticks will never leave wrestling because it's like, there's nothing else better that
the sound.
the sound it makes. Versus, I mean, because you get a lot of sound for a minimal amount of punishment.
Yes.
Like you don't and
It looks awful.
I mean, I'm sure it hurts still,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
right, it stings, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as like taking chairs or
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's like
Sure.
and plus, when you beat on someone quick enough, it just starts tearing apart and it looks vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really impressed by this, and I was so happy that it ended up being the main. I was kind of questioning it a little bit,
But it's nice to have a women's maid.
it's nice to be back there again, to be honest, and actually to be satisfied when we're leaving.
Yes.
That's cool.
You know,
That's
so
great.
overall, the whole show was, I would give it 4.5
Nice.
out of 5. I really would.
Agreed.
I didn't think that besides the Heritage Cup,
Yeah.
that one that was an outlier.
We're just not even going to talk about them anymore if it continues. If it's going to be.
We're
like
just
that.
going to skip over that match.
Nope. Y'all know.
But
Y'all know us.
I mean, besides that one, there really wasn't a bad match on this card.
Not at all.
Which I think, I mean, for a weekend of wrestling,
Oh, and Becky won, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Becky
kept
won.
it. Yeah,
But-
but it was a really good match.
but for a whole weekend of wrestling, because you had No Mercy and then you had WrestleDream. I mean, they were both really, really great.
Yes.
So I feel like having No Mercy be
a
as
great
good as it
time.
was, and having to transition into WrestleDream, I feel like as a wrestling fan, it's fun.
Yes.
Right? This is a
That's-
really fun time to be a wrestling fan.
You know, there's so much just. I know it's mainly because people are too online and stuff like that. You just see so much of the tribalism and stuff like. But if you were a wrestling fan, you won this weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
you were the big winner because it's like you got the NXT event, you've got WrestleDream, you've got a whole bunch of quality wrestling
Yeah.
for different
Yes,
reasons.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel, and that, I think that's a really good natural segue for us to go into
Sounds
WrestleDream.
perfect, doesn't it?
Because, yeah.
WrestleDream.
So I feel like that's a natural segue into us talking about WrestleDream.
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
Because here's the deal, friends. I don't think we can talk about 14 different matches.
No, we're not
so
going to.
much.
There's
I'm
so
s-
much.
It
I'm
seemed like it
still
was somehow
tired.
more than a usual AEW pay-per-view.
I feel like it was. I said this. I can't remember if this was the last time we talked about AEW. Me and you. Me and Gina.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just pointed at you like everyone knows who the you I'm talking about.
I mean, if we're gonna assume.
That one, the one on the left.
That one on the left, yes.
On your left.
But I feel like there was one of the AEW pay-per-views where there was only like 8 matches or something.
There was.
And I cannot remember for the life of me which one it was, but I was like, this is it. If you're going to
This is the formula.
Right. You have like 2 if you must have matches on the pre-show.
She's not about the pre-show.
I'm
y'all.
sorry, y'all. Like this is my time to settle in. Like when I get there, the pre-show's starting. I need to like get my baby situated. I need to get my wine situated. Like I need to get myself in order. I'm not paying attention to the pre-show.
Claudio did great, by the way. That was the best match.
Yes,
Claudio
great
and
job,
Josh.
Claudio. You did great, but like that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
I love when you're talking about this is the perfect amount. I love the implied like please, please just
Tony
just
Khan,
keep it down to this.
Please. Like you don't need 14 total matches on a pay-per-view. You just don't need it.
No.
Like there were I loved the Ricky Starks and Yuta match, but that could have been on a Dynamite.
Right?
Right?
You know what? Yes.
That
yeah.
honestly, you could argue. So I've heard some people argue that the tag match could have been on there too.
Then we would have missed all of John Moxley's finable offenses.
Oh my gosh.
That man could not control himself on commentary.
But I want him on commentary.
Oh, yes.
Always now.
but
I want to
he-
set up a fund for keep John Moxley on commentary just so he can pay all his funds.
Just get a jar right there.
I'm just saying this is his retirement gig.
Oh, it is. Oh, totally.
Like he just
10
needs
out
to
of 10.
naturally replace JR,
Yeah.
right? When
Yeah.
JR goes,
Yeah.
You keep someone on the button because they've got a delay. Like he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
but see, here's
You
the
even
thing.
finished some of them going swear jar.
He was on commentary for all 3 of their matches.
Yes.
You could have cut one of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Yuta. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be you.
It should have
You
been.
know I love you.
It's gonna be. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You know I love you. You're my wrestling boyfriend. Like I love
Yeah.
you, but like you didn't need to be on this thing.
No.
Like this feud was already thrown together at the last minute because Ricky was feuding with CM Punk when he got fired. So they were already trying to give Ricky something because
Yeah.
Ricky is so hot right now.
He's awesome. He's a great wrestler.
But I just felt like that one didn't need to be on. There were a couple other ones that didn't need to be on. But I do know that we want to talk about a few of them.
Yes. Sure.
Right? So is there a couple that you guys want to talk about?
Well, I'll speed through the pre-show real quick.
Okay,
so
go for it.
Here's what happened. The opening match was Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima versus Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Diamante, and Mercedes Martinez.
Diamante has a cool name. Diamante.
Yes, I love that name. That's a Bond villain name, and I love it every time I hear it.
Also, Athena doesn't need to be in that match. Needs to be doing other things.
Yeah.
Nope. But
She was funny though in this match.
That's what I
but-
mean. Like she, out of all of them, I feel like needs to be doing something else.
Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Kojima beat the other team.
Okay.
It was a short, sweet, good intro match. It was just
Glad that Keith Lee is still on TV.
Yes.
yes.
He's not keeping the gray anymore, but
That's
Then
okay.
That's
the
okay.
second pre-show match was Claudio versus Josh Barnett.
Great match.
Amazing match.
Very good
Excellent
match.
match. Yes.
Josh Barnett also was very nice.
Oh yeah,
And
he
he
did-
said
he-
110% everything that was correct.
Was it that like a shoot promo
I
or
think
something?
it was because
Yeah.
Claudio looked like he didn't.
Well,
he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he's. I think he was. I think maybe they told him he could do it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Okay.
Claudio didn't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I was. That would make sense. Yeah.
And I think that one happened because Josh Barnett was a protege of Inoki, right?
Yes.
He also was supposed to wrestle Mox in
Got
that
it.
spot.
Got
Mox
it.
got
Okay.
the
Yes.
the concussion, and so Claudio came
Right.
in and
Third match was Luchasaurus versus Nick Wayne.
Which that boy died.
He beat that child, and it was hilarious.
He died.
and then
and apparently it beat something into him, which we'll find out later.
Apparently, yes.
you know what? It wasn't until you just said that I forgot that match even existed.
Yeah, no, I forgot
And
too.
now I'm
I
like,
did
oh
legit forget.
man, I should
I
have
forgot.
freaking.
I forgot until I was watching the end, and he comes.
He's taped up,
He
right?
comes out, and he's taped up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, right, Luchasaurus beat the piss out of him.
Right, and now we're friends. Cool.
Hey, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And then the basically what was the main event of the pre-show was the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, which they refused to call him on Wikipedia. They call him Billy Gunn, which is
Do they really?
incorrect.
He does not go by that name anymore.
They had a trios title match against TMDK with Bad Dude Tito, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Hayes. They
I
are
felt bad. I had no idea who
Which,
they were.
I mean, come on. Who was winning that one?
I believe they're an NJPW stable.
Gotcha.
They're
I'm still trying to learn a lot of
Which
NJ.
There's a lot of them.
And I just
I know.
now looked on their Wikipedia page to learn that TMDK, which they never explained on the pay-per-view, means the mighty don't kneel.
Ooh.
I like that.
Yes.
That's sick as hell.
Why didn't they tell us that?
I never heard it once.
Nigel?
Never heard it
Look, I
once.
got some Nigel, I got beef with you, dude.
I love Nigel McGuinness.
I'm sorry.
I do too. But
I'm sorry. Do you mean young Bricktop? He has that accent and cadence about him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Robert said something, and he was like, I think that he's going to try to challenge and I was like, who? He was like, Nigel. I was like, Nigel's going to come back to wrestle?
He used to.
I know, but I was like, why? He just got the ROH. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so.
No, it's not going to happen. He's too good on commentary. They don't
Oh
want
my
to
gosh.
lose him.
He was pissing me off.
So then
with
we
some
hit
of them.
the show proper,
Yes.
which was started off surprisingly by MJF versus the Righteous. For the
I was
ROH
not
Tag Title.
expecting that one.
So I went because we're a part of Wrestle Talk, fellas. If you are listening, I'm so happy that you introduced us to Wrestle League
Thank
because
you.
I know you've been doing it for ages, and I'm really slow on the uptake. But this is basically a fantasy football league, but with wrestling predictions,
Oh, neat.
and it is
Best.
so much fun. So when we were doing,
I only
Yeah,
missed
you got people
2.
interested in the room while we were watching. I mean,
I know dogs actually
dogs signed up while
we were watching. I was like, yes, one of us.
Join us.
So when I was going through these predictions, this one tripped me up the most because I was like, honestly, they could go either way with this.
They could.
They could either have it be like what happened, which was he retains by himself, and they extend until Cole gets better,
Right.
or they could just have him drop it and have, the Righteous, who are actual ROH guys, take the title. But then I was like, no, because MJF is on a huge run right now, and if he were to lose, there's no way that he would come out
Right.
without
No.
looking bad in this because
No,
it's just him.
The Righteous also, like, I see it. I see the potential. I just think it's too much of a copy of a mix of Brody and Bray.
I think it was a matter of parallel thinking because I think.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
Know, I
Maybe
don't
it's just 'cause I
they're
didn't
very
see them-
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I didn't see them until literally like right before this, and I was like, I knew nothing, and so I just kind of felt that way. But that's just because I
It was
did
kind
not
of
know.
like the Wyatt family was kind of like a very dark bunch who thought they were the light.
Yeah,
Right.
The Righteous are masquerading in the light, and they're just very dark.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's very similar, but also very different in the same breath.
Yeah, gotcha.
But
and,
yeah,
and especially since Vincent gives off Manson vibes.
so hard.
Yeah.
But I also just loved, because I think this just is a huge testament to MJF as a wrestler and how he just gets it.
Yeah.
And how some people, being so young, you wouldn't think that he would just naturally get this business, but he does.
It's like it was like in his DNA.
It
Yeah.
is. It's very innate within him.
Yeah, like he said, he called what he was going to do before the match started,
Yeah.
and he did it.
Which is a
like
classic babyface kind of move.
Right. He's like, I'm going to power slam this dude, and I'm going to shove this guy's dreadlocks up the other guy's ass. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what he did.
He did it.
Like, the whole match was built around, can he power bomb this guy or power slam this guy? And
Yeah.
he did
They
eventually.
treated
Oh
it
my
like Hogan slamming Andre, 100%. It was
There,
great.
I don't know if you saw the media scrum
I did not.
afterward, but he touches on this.
Yes.
Because he says,
I did hear this quote.
I
yeah.
can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but it was to the line of, you say what you're going to do at the beginning of the match, and then you build the whole entire match around a very low stakes arbitrary move, and you make people want to see it.
Yep.
Kangaroo
Right.
kick.
So, double clothesline.
Yeah.
Right. That became their finisher.
It's like
right.
the
You had
most
people
basic thing.
chanting double clothesline.
Yep.
In the crowd.
Tofu.
Right. It just
To the point when MJF had to get taken out of their match was it either All In or All Out? They started yelling single clothesline.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
But like you take something like that, and he did this with the headlock takeover.
Yes.
Right? Like you take it and you elevate it to the point where people are begging for you to do it.
Yes.
And it's the same with this move, with the power slam. This is a very like arbitrary move that people do all the time, but doing it on this guy, he was like he was doing it on Goliath.
Yeah. And I was touching on the fact that he mentioned he tore all the muscle, like the ligaments in his back, the muscles in his back when he was doing the slam, which is a joke on Hogan, basically saying the same thing about when he slammed Andre.
Andre.
All of his promos lately have just been references.
Well, he had the Bret Hart.
He did
tribute.
Steiner math.
He
on
did.
Samoa Joe.
The Steiner math one killed me. I could not handle that one.
I assume the camera was off Samoa Joe for most of that because he was laughing. Because I found out recently, like when Steiner did that promo originally in TNA, Joe was in the room watching it being filmed. It was just like apparently laughing just the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just you can't say anything else better about MJF. Like
He's the best, man.
I feel like his baby face, if you want to put it in air quotes, if you don't, like it is just
He's Schrodinger's baby face.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It just shows like how he can literally do anything.
Yeah.
And
because his heel run is so good, but then you're like, oh, there's no way that he can do babyface. Like he's such a good heel. And then he gets teamed up with Adam Cole, and it's like the hottest thing this year.
What's cool about it is like he outright says he doesn't believe he can be a face, and he gets swept up into it. And it's cool. And it's cool because MJF gets it so well, so innately that it's like it doesn't matter how weird or goofy, if it's serious or whatever. He is whatever he needs to be to further it. And so
and I think being put with Adam is a big help because my gosh, I mean that man could do literally anything and I would eat it up with a spoon.
Yeah. So it also is a testament that he can literally be the first thing on the card.
Yes.
And no one bats an eye at it.
And this ending really does help set up things in the future for when they decide to pull triggers, because it's like, well, he beat them by himself, so he's like, if he wants to go that way, it's like, well, I guess I really don't need Adam Cole. Or it could be Adam Cole going, does he actually need me, and getting insecure about that.
And then leaning to Roddy.
It could go a lot of different ways. So
your favorite.
Oh my god. Adam.
Roddy just shows up to rebound.
As always.
Bow tie and the neck brace.
I mean, be selfish and go get that surgery, but
right. But yeah, so that one was definitely a highlight.
Absolutely.
For sure.
A great way to open.
Definitely.
Especially since it was appropriate since the AEW World Title wasn't on the line. Like you said, it's like this. The focus was the tag titles.
Yes.
Yeah, but you still had his presence like on the pay-per-view, so I think it was a good compromise.
And then I'll gloss over this one real quick, not because I don't think it was a bad match, but Eddie Kingston beat Shibata for it was a match for the world for his world championship. And
it was not title for title like I thought it was.
I thought it was.
And the strong openweight championship, it was Eddie's titles on the line versus Shibata, who was the pure champion.
I appreciated this match just because I think Eddie really.
Eddie, this is this is just another in the string of Eddie is getting all the dream matches he's ever wanted.
It's like Tony sat him down and was like, "Okay, what do you want? What do you want to do?"
And he proceeded to take out a very old list that was written years ago
that he's kept in his pocket for ages.
It's aged from just from time. He's unfolded it. He handed it to him. And he's like, "I want all this."
Yeah.
Tony said okay.
The same with Danielson. He's doing the same thing with him too.
100%. And I can't fault him for that for any reason.
Absolutely not.
I love
it. You can tell through these matches, especially when they're over, the utter joy he's had of something that he never thought he'd get to do.
Yeah.
Because as he mentioned, he thought he was going to have to retire 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now he's crossing stuff off his bucket list left and right.
That's awesome.
And with which was it Dynamite? Which one did he win? Did he beat Claudio finally?
Oh yeah, that was
it was the Dynamite.
Yeah.
Or Grand Slam. That's what it was.
Oh,
that's right.
Shoot.
He finally closed. They finally closed that chapter.
Yeah, that was a great match too.
Because he had been chasing him for
Lord.
Just every time that Claudio was in a match, you just see Eddie with a chair just coming behind him.
I want to beat you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was a good one too. But it was also I feel like kind of got lost in the shuffle a bit with all these matches.
With everything.
Yeah.
So the next one, this one should be highlighted. Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart.
Oh my gosh. Okay, talking about this in comparison with the Becky and Tiffany Stratton match.
Yes.
I feel like this one was just as high on my list. Julia Hart, I think, has to be one of the most improved wrestlers of 2023.
And from moves to
Character.
appearance to entrance to everything, her package is now complete.
Yes.
I feel like this is a prime example of when it pays off when you wait with a particular person because she was not ready to be on TV like she is now. Back like a year ago.
No.
So you put
she
her
was with Varsity Blondes. No.
Right. You get her away from Varsity Blondes. You put her with House of Black. You have her be Spooky Witch Queen. And
her scary dads.
Right. Her and her scary dads go into the ring. But
Hot Topic and her two dads, yeah.
Right. You wait for her and have matches on, Dark and, all that stuff to get her ready. And then you debut her in this, and she's ready.
I really love the hat she had with the because the entire point of that was to make her look like sainted.
Yes.
Oh man.
You know that Brody and his wife took her.
Oh yeah,
to go shopping. And
I know. Yeah, I heard the stories about that where there was like
I can only imagine how utterly adorable that would be.
Yeah,
it was a family shopping trip.
Exactly what it was.
But they had built up this moonsault of hers, and it had actually gotten traction on Twitter, and people in the arena were chanting for her to do the moonsault because she has a beautiful moonsault. Like, it is very, very pretty, and it got to the point where they teased it at one point, and everybody got on their feet to watch it, and then they started booing when Statlander stopped it from happening.
Dude, that
and this crowd was insane.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Oh, I know, but
exactly
this was the start of it, though.
Yes.
Because they were such a smart crowd that they were standing and getting excited for her moonsault, which is now a famous moonsault. Like, it's just crazy to me how it can get stuff like that gets traction.
You know why this crowd was so crazy? This is probably the same people who were the Portland crowd.
Oh, yes. So there was a takeover right before COVID happened. So this was February of 2020. So it was literally the last thing that WWE did with a live crowd for a very long time.
Right.
And it was Portland, and it was insane.
Yeah.
So it was probably because a similar area.
Portland somehow jumped up the ranks to also being as smarky as Chicago. And like the New York, like the crowds that are like, they're going to like what they like, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Exactly. Like a Chicago crowd or something like that. But yeah, no, this match impressed me a lot. And I love Statlander. I think her going out on injury and staying out for as long as she did to fully recover and then actually get some training in, I think was probably the best thing that she could have done.
She got the training in. I want her to go back to some talking classes, though. I think it's starting. But I feel like it's right there, and I just
her promos need a little bit of work.
Yes, promo work.
But
thank you. Not talking classes.
You can go to talking class.
Look, y'all, I'm so tired. It took me 3 days to watch this dang thing, so I'm
it's
tired.
true.
But yes, she's right there. Her moves are great.
Yes.
Moves are awesome. But it's just, she's so close.
Honestly, I am more invested in the title picture around the TBS title than I am around the women's title right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, one, they get way more exposure on TV.
True.
And a lot of that had to do with Jade for a while. But now that Statlander has taken over, I mean, she has defended it, I think, 28 times at this point.
Are we getting close to not full Cassidy numbers, but you know what I mean?
No, but it's very similar. Like, I feel like the international title and the TBS title have kind of become like the workhorse title.
I was about to say that same word. Yep. Those are the ones. Yep.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. So like, I really loved this, and I hope that they continue this run with Statlander and Julia too. Like, just put her somewhere else. But
this is not the last.
She's only going to grow from here.
Yeah.
But Statlander did retain.
Yes.
So moving on, I'm going to touch on this briefly. This was a kind of a wild, chaotic match. but it was, it was good, but it was still just a wild tag match. It was a 4-way match between Young Bucks, Lucha Brothers, the Guns, and Orange Cassidy and Hook.
Dude, I'm so pissed that it wasn't the people that I picked. That was one of the 2 matches I did not win in my Wrestle League. So pissed about that.
I had Orange and Hook winning this.
Same.
I understand. Well, after I saw the rest of the show, I understood why what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've seen the Bucks and FTR already.
So
like
many
we've
spoilers.
Well,
okay. What is the point of this show?
Listen to us. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
Young Bucks. Young Bucks 1, and
Right.
it's gonna be Young Bucks FTR 4, and it's like you know what?
Yeah.
4?
I know that FTR and Young Bucks are ready for this series to continue, but I'm down with seeing other people enter the scene again, like the Lucha Brothers. The Guns looked good in that match.
The Guns did look good, which they had that really funny spot where they tried to pin each other because
Right, because they were trying to subvert the rules.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that is how Road Dogg and Billy Gunn won one of those, one of the earliest type of matches.
Shut up.
On an episode of Raw. It was the same kind of setup where it was Fatal 4-Way. I think Road Dogg pinned Billy Gunn because there was no rule against it.
Yeah.
And then after that, then they
implemented the rule.
That's some good stuff,
Yep,
man.
that was a callback. It's like if you know,
Especially with your dad.
Oh, exactly.
Being the one that's
If you know, and you get it. It's like ah ha ha.
AEW has a good way of sliding that in. I feel like WWE likes to erase history a little bit.
Well, that or they like to put too much of a deal on it. They will just
pick
slide.
and choose.
They'll just slide stuff in as AEW will just slide stuff in as an Easter egg. It's like, oh, if you get it, great.
Sure.
It doesn't detract from anything.
Yeah.
But WWE will stop the show. It's like, wait, did you see that? That's the thing.
That was a callback to something.
They treat their audience dumb.
Yeah.
Like they're dumb.
Well, I mean, we do have fishbowl memories,
Yeah.
right?
Admittedly, I'll forget stuff quick, but also at the same time, it makes sense that they would do this particular spot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like we've seen this a lot, and also I was saying earlier that this could have also been a match that would have benefited from being on a Dynamite and not on this card.
Yeah, this was not a pay-per-view match, but 2 of the execs were in the match.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Look,
but you did.
I am a fan of the Young Bucks. It is unpopular in this house, but I am a fan of the Young Bucks. But I can also say that they get too much exposure.
Despite not liking their general vibe / gimmick, I agree they are amazingly talented and they deserve their success.
Sure.
But yeah,
let's take a break and step back for a little bit and let someone else do it.
Yeah,
it's not going to diminish their
I'm not saying
abilities.
they abused their power, but it's just like I'm sure that they did not pump the brakes on let's do FTR and Young Bucks again.
Yeah, no, that's true because they have been waiting to do a lot of programming with them for a while, just because a lot of it's been put on hold. But I do feel like this could have been the week after the show, honestly, on the Dynamite after or something,
The stakes weren't
this
that
could
high.
have just been part of the build for the next round. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
So the next match is where a little bit of discussion needs to happen. So Swerve Strickland faced Hangman Adam Page.
Y'all in the audience, what's wrong with y'all?
So, wrong
with y'all?
That's the meat of my problem here. So,
yes, talk about it, Chris.
Yes.
I was like, I just want a new rule in general. It's great when you have wrestlers be beloved by their hometowns.
Cool.
But for storyline purposes, if that guy's the heel, don't have him wrestle on pay-per-view in his hometown.
That's a good point.
Because they played the match straight. They didn't do call an audible.
No.
They didn't change anything. I believe 100% this is how the match was supposed to go because no one broke roles. For any Swerve did not acknowledge that the fans were
Hangman tried so hard. There was some moments in the corner.
It was literally Swerve could do no wrong. Hangman could do no right.
Yes.
Because anything Hangman did. Boos, chorus of boos.
Gracious.
And to his credit, he did not break character.
Yeah,
he still played it like he was they were cheering him. They had to. And my big problem with this, I discussed with you, Shelby, is, and we touched on it with Dominic. Mm-hmm. It's disrespectful. You are here to participate in this interactive play.
Yeah.
And you know how you respect a heel even if he's from your hometown? You boo him.
Yeah.
You boo him because he does not want you to like him. He knows you like him. He knows. Like, fine, pop when he comes out.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to play along.
Yeah.
That's the job he's doing. That's the job Paige is doing. It's even if you don't really want to, it's like boo you. You're the bad guy. I don't like.
We like you, but boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like
Exactly.
Max. We know he's the bad guy.
You're fucking with the program.
Honestly,
Yeah.
because these two guys have done such a good job in the lead up to this
Yes.
match
Yeah.
of establishing such a great story, because Swerve has basically been saying, what have you done for this company?
Yeah.
Like, you are one of the,
You got all these breaks,
Uh-huh.
and you didn't really do anything. It doesn't seem like you did anything with it.
Yeah.
I deserve that. Give that to me, and I will prove it by beating you.
I agree with him 100%. I think any wrestling promotion would kill to have Swerve as their
Yes.
top guy.
Yeah.
Like, if you had him at any indie fed, he would easily be the top champion, hands down.
Yes.
And
sorry.
and I feel that even when he was back in NXT before he kind of established, because when he did Hit Row, he was kind of going towards this gimmick that he's doing
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
I think now he's fully able to embrace what was trying to do in Hit Row.
Yes.
But even in NXT, you saw a glimmer. Even then, when they were trying to make him be babyface, he was like, "No, man,
No.
I got something here." And I feel like if you give him enough room, he's gonna fill up the space for you.
Absolutely.
And I think him and MJF would be so killer. Even if he's not gonna win it, right? Even if he doesn't take the belt off of him, which I don't think he's going to.
Yeah.
If it's at the next pay-per-view, or if it's at a Winter is Coming or something like that, he needs to go up against MJF after this match.
Sure.
And crowd aside, I feel like they still were able to tell a really effective story, but the crowd was quite annoying.
Honestly,
Golly.
just if you go back and watch this, I advise you just put it on mute.
Yeah, honestly.
Put it on mute.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they ever replay this match for any reason, it's either this is the one time I'll fully support swapping the crowd noise, or just put a note on there that's this was in Swerve's hometown. They weren't going to boo him.
Yeah.
He's the heel. Just understand that.
Oh, also
Yeah.
a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Lucha Underground?
I think I know what you're
Yeah,
referencing.
so
I did not watch it, but
On his knee pad, he had the Kill Shot logo,
Oh,
which
okay,
was
nice.
sick.
Nice.
He
so
was he
that was really fun.
he used to be called Killshot,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, so Killshot
Yeah.
was his character in Lucha Underground, and he had started his reputation with that. He was amazing on Lucha Underground.
Nice.
I love Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
When he came to AEW, Mox had no clue who he was Killshot. And so
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
backstage, he was just talking to him like, "Hey, man, there's this guy Killshot." And he was like, "Dude, that's me." And Mox was like, "The fuck?" And he's like, "No, I'm Killshot." He's like, "You're shitting with me." He had no idea.
That's so
Sorry,
funny.
little
That's
Easter egg there.
That's
but yes,
awesome.
so he had the Killshot logo on his left knee, and I was just
Nice.
like, "Oh, I got a wrestling little reference there. I got
Yeah.
that."
And that's the whole point of an Easter egg like that.
Yeah.
It's for you to catch that and go, yes, neat, I understand that, awesome.
Yeah, but it
it's-
doesn't
it's
affect anything.
It's supposed to enrich your moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not It's you don't have to know what that is to enjoy anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, this match is great. The crowd is shit.
Yeah, I would pay so much money to be backstage, as they walked off, and they
Oh,
both be
man.
like, "What the fuck was that?"
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's I think Swerve would be the kind of guy who would get that way. Honestly.
Yeah.
I was to be he's like, no, you're supposed to fucking boo me.
dude.
you're like, I've worked really hard to get to this point.
It feels
Boo me.
It feels insulting,
Yeah, no, I
in a way.
get that. And
like-
sometimes crowds can really hijack a match like that.
Prince Nana tosses him the headband with the metal on it so he can just
And they
clock him and
just-
cheat. They explode. Again, they explode like Hogan slammed Andre. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Oh my god.
Because he hits
Yeah.
Paige with the with the crown,
Yeah,
right?
the metal headband.
Yeah.
The headband, and
They were like, "What does he got 2 headbands for?" I was like, "Oh yeah," like someone mentioned it.
yeah, he was like, he had a headband under his headband. Like, that's so strange. But it was because he left it
Yeah.
for Swerve to use.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how he won. Because it was behind the ref's back because he was throwing Nana out
Yep.
when Swerve
Nana
did
got-
that. Which I think, I mean,
Great match.
both guys came out looking stellar in this
did.
match. Yeah.
They did, as long as you don't listen to that crowd for a second.
Again,
It's
like
just
Chris said, just
crazy.
listen to it on mute. It's fine.
Yeah, just watch it on mute. It's a great match.
What's next, sir?
Ricky Starks beat Wheeler Yuta. Moving on.
It's true. No, it's true.
Nope,
You don't have
that's
to
it.
talk about it. It's fine.
10 out of 10.
Look. That's not a judgment on the quality of the
Nope.
match.
No, it was
Good match.
fine. It just
was
didn't
done.
need to happen.
It's like John Moxley was on commentary. He had a
Swear
ball.
jar.
He had a ball. I think it's like I can talk about the logistics of that, but there's no point.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, that was the point where we were like, okay, we're gonna go.
Yeah, so full disclosure, Chris and I and my husband Ted and my daughter, we were done. We were like, my daughter's done. Like
I'm
she's,
gonna go.
we're gonna go
We
home.
were like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. It's halfway through the show. We can catch it later to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about it in the car on the way over. I was like, I pulled up the pay-per-view to watch, and I got to where we had left off, and I was looking at the timestamp. I was like, there's still, out of a 4-hour show, there's still 2 hours and 10 minutes for the next 4 matches.
So when we left, there were 4 matches left.
Yes.
That was my Monday night. Monday night,
Yeah.
we got to about this exact moment, and then I
Yeah.
was just like,
And what
and he had
sucks
paused
is
to go to bed, and I was like, what?
all of these matches were the ones I was looking forward to the most. Right? This next match coming up, which was Danielson versus Sabre Jr. Like, I feel like from what I've heard about this one, because full disclosure, I wasn't able to watch.
Yeah.
But it just technical
Yeah.
masterpiece.
Yes.
Like, and if you are a fan of technical wrestling, like, this is probably your match of the year.
Yes.
Right? And for people who are not the biggest fans of that, they can acknowledge it was a good match, but like at the same time, like
That would be me. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like here's the thing. It's like when it comes down to it, when the basic storyline is, I'm the best technical wrestler. No, I'm the best technical wrestler. I'm on the sideline going, I don't give a shit.
See, that's funny because there's a level
Yeah.
of technical.
Yeah.
I think this one's more of the speed, like
Yeah.
the speed really, because we talked about
Well,
Toothless Timmy.
yeah.
When that speed wasn't there, that's it's like snooze fest.
But here's the thing. It's
when
like,
it was there,
like
yeah.
you were just saying, it's like this was a really good match, and
Yes.
they told the story in the ring. They ramped it up, and it was like, because I love a match going into it that has a build up of a storyline. But sometimes there's just a match where you watch where the whole point is for these two men to just wrestle or fight or whatever.
I
And
don't
that's
like
good
you.
too.
I don't like you.
And that's where the story starts building.
There's a fun little side note that I read up on. Dave Meltzer has these awards, that he gives out every year for.
Yes.
And there is an award called the Bryan Danielson Award.
Oh yes, they
Because
mentioned this in commentary.
yes, this is
too.
the best wrestling, best technical wrestler. They named it after him because he won it from like 2005 until he went on his first retirement thing, right?
Absolutely true.
When he went off and retired because of injury, Zack Sabre Jr. won it. And he won it year after year after year. Then Danielson came back, and then he won it year after year after year.
Yep.
And he has still won it every single year. So these two men, since the existence of this award, it's only been
It's only them.
awarded to these two guys. So the fact that this match had both of them in it, and it's taken them so long for them to actually do this match
Yes.
because of Danielson's injuries.
And COVID. And
I think
everything
this
else,
is
yeah.
a testament to Tony giving him the Eddie Kingston treatment as well.
Yes.
And just being like, okay, you're about at the end of your career. What do you want to do? And I think that people just took this match and just were thrilled with it because
yes.
it was such a technical masterpiece but I don't know how long it was, but
Google.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you, each of the, so starting with this match, no match was under 20 minutes.
Yeah.
22:45 is the official timing for the match itself.
22:45. Okay.
This one had good pacing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. And yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't think we'll see more of Zack Sabre Jr. just because he's such a New Japan guy.
He's a
so
loyal man.
We'll see him whenever they do any more collaborations with New Japan.
I should point out,
Door.
this match was also the right way to showcase a wrestler in his hometown because
Yes,
he
that's
was
what
on
I
the,
was going to say.
he was on the face side of things.
Yes.
And Zack Sabre was clearly working heel because they understood.
Right. Yeah. But
And here's the thing, like the crowd also gave it up for Zack Sabre.
Yes. Like this crowd was fickle. Fickle.
but
Smart bastards, yeah.
yes, exactly. But yeah, I think this match is going to go up on some people's best of
Oh,
list
yeah.
for this year,
yeah.
for
Sure
sure.
thing.
Yeah. What's next?
Next is the Don Callis family, Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Sammy Guevara versus Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi.
Y'all.
Yes, Gina.
Love Takeshita.
This was
And I
this
love-
was fun. This I mean
love
this
this
they
man.
did a good. I mean I don't think any of the last 4 matches, they were all great matches.
I feel like this one may have been the weakest out of the final 4.
You think?
To me, just because I am over Jericho right now.
Okay, sure.
Like his feud with Sammy, I don't understand it. It just they keep going back and forth on whether they like each other, whether they don't, and now that they don't, and we've settled into it, to me, I just don't see what Sammy has to gain from joining the faction that didn't want Jericho.
Money for his baby.
Okay, cool.
That's about it.
But like to me, that's baby aside. That's not compelling
Well, no,
enough
the whole
to
thing
me.
was the whole thing was Don Callis assumed that Jericho was going to say no.
that
He
is
said
so
yes.
funny.
Right? No, I get it. It's just I guess I'm just tired of Jericho and feuds. I
Sure.
guess.
We've talked about how like a
Well,
couple of
bad
times we
news.
watch and it's like
Well,
I
bad
think,
news at the
yeah.
end of this match. Is it Takeshita who took? No, so Guevara took it. Guevara pinned Jericho.
Yeah.
So this is going to keep going for a little while.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, and I'm not happy about it.
But-
I'm not saying that this was a bad match. I'm just saying
Oh, I know,
to
I know.
me, like,
You're just not,
Story-wise, you don't care.
You're just not
no.
into it.
I'm not.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
and-
absolutely fair.
and you get match fatigue by the end of this, right? Like, and I feel like the crowd kind of gets match fatigue by the end of this.
I've watched movies like this before where it's like I came out of it going, that was nice. And I never thought about it again.
Exactly. And that's what this match is. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm sure it will further the storyline with Jericho and Sammy, but like everybody else who's in this, Will Ospreay was in this match.
Yes.
And like no one really cared. And that bothered me.
Well, that's because the 2 main storylines of this match was Guevara versus Jericho and Takeshita versus Omega.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the big through lines of it.
And then poor Ibushi. Ibushi had like maybe 1.5 spots in this.
him and Takeshita also.
yeah,
are
they
also their
did
thing
have
as well.
some good moments, but it
Yeah.
it
Will Ospreay was energetic and present.
he's lovely. He's lovely.
I want more for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't worry, he will get it.
He's so good.
He's so good.
just so good.
And then,
but tally ho,
Yes.
well, he won, so feel good for him.
Okay.
His
Well,
team
his
won.
team won. He didn't do much.
That means he won. It's written down.
Okay,
there.
fine.
Will Ospreay won.
just for Shelby.
Thank you.
And then the semi-main was FTR versus Aussie Open. Here's the thing. I'm not super familiar with Aussie Open, but that was a hell of a match.
It was.
Yeah.
I felt terrible because I don't mean to objectify this man, but his freaking legs.
Which one?
Davis on Aussie
Mark
Open.
Davis.
The
okay.
one with the butt.
Is
No,
he-
I'm past
Okay.
butt.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
past
That's the one
that
she's
now.
talking about, though.
It'll clear it up fast
He's
for
a-
me. Mustache or not mustache?
Mustache.
Mustache.
Gotcha.
Mustache. With legs the size of sycamore trees.
What? But the one with
Gotcha.
the butt that didn't help you
The
at
bear,
all.
the bear, not the twink. Got it.
The bear nut. Yes, you're right. And apparently, one of them got injured during this match.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Davis did. Yeah.
And
yeah, something happened.
So
his hand or something.
He
Yes.
grabbed at the wrong angle, something like it was just a little thing. He could go through the rest of the match, and he did. It was not anything that could be like really, really, really bad, but
Yeah.
thankfully it was just like maybe like a sprain or something. Like I have not researched to see, but they finished the match. They were great. But
I mean,
yes,
any match that
it
you
was a really good
have
match.
FTR in it, it's going to be great, I think. But those two teams together, they've done stuff with each other a lot.
Yes.
And I think from what I have seen, they have done better matches together than this one, but this one was still good.
What bummed me out was they set this up because they talked about how it was basically almost a year to the day, or if it was a year to the day, where they had faced off at a different event.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
They really set it up like the Aussie Open was the underdogs. And then when you set it up like that, for me, it's like, that's what I want to see win.
Well, yeah.
Like,
you and me
really
both,
make-
man.
Yeah, it's like you really, it's like, because FTR has in the interim proven themselves multiple.
Could you
Sure.
imagine the storyline if Aussie Open had won it and then the Bucks are pissed as hell because they
Oh,
thought they were going to
that'd be hilarious to me.
Dude, I would have been there for that.
See, to me,
It's like they had a plan for FTR. They don't have one for Aussie Open.
see, this one to me was kind of like MJF and the Righteous. Like I kind of had kind of knew that Aussie
Yeah.
Open wasn't going to take this.
Yeah.
That was always in the back of my head. It's like
I'm pretty sure FTR was
they
my
could.
joker.
I mean, they've really kind of set it up that it could, but it's like
Right.
no.
No,
Yeah.
FTR is taking this.
it wouldn't have made sense.
Poor Osprey's just ditched them. The Osprey was like, "Oh, hey, sup, bye."
Yeah, it's like I'll still claim you, I guess, but like we're not going to wrestle
Yeah.
anymore.
It's
fine.
like how England thinks of Australia in general.
Yeah, we'll just send all of our prisoners and bad people to you.
I was like,
That or Georgia,
I'll
it's fine.
acknowledge you, I guess, but you're all the way over there, you know.
I can kind of forget that you're
for
there.
good reason, yeah.
Right. That's where all of the nightmare creatures are too.
But when we're all winning together, the Commonwealth, yeah, great.
Exactly.
Oh, the Commonwealth.
But with the main event though, I feel I was surprised by what happened.
It made sense. The book, because you were mentioning, it's like, why would they put the TBS title at the main?
I was very confused.
But then I didn't.
Yeah.
See, I didn't. When I found out what had happened, and then I saw it and watched it, I was like, and then I remembered a bunch of reports I had seen over Twitter. It's like, oh, it all clicked into place. It's like, yeah, that's why this is where it was.
It makes sense in hindsight, right?
Yes,
But like
yes.
in the moment when we were watching
I
it,
mean, I
like
should have put the pieces together, but
sure. But we were about to leave, and I was like, wait, Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson is next. Like that's the main event. There's like 3 other matches that they have to do.
why is the TBS title? And because I mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, no, they talked about Darby Allin was talking about being
Being the main event.
being the main event. How the TBS title was in the top spot this time.
Yeah, and also being a hometown boy, we had 4 different people that hometowns were
yeah,
Seattle,
They got to decide this better if they're going to run shows out of there.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, 3.
But yeah, this I feel like with it being a 2 out of 3 falls, I feel like it sets it up for this betrayal that happens.
Yes.
Because I mean, that came out of nowhere to me because I think, and it came out of nowhere for everybody because I think everyone.
Including his mom.
Oh my god,
His mother's face of "I will
Oscar,
beat
man.
your ass when
I
you
will
get
find you."
home.
I
He is so grounded.
so
I'm
grounded.
taking the PlayStation, the Xbox, all of it.
All of it. It's mine. It's
Your
in my
phone
room
is
now.
mine.
Yeah, it's like hand over. your
Hand it
phone.
over. Hand it over. No, because I feel like everybody was so focused
Yeah.
on the potential, Adam Copeland of it all.
I was so
right
hoping
that
for Luchasaurus to come out and whoop his ass.
right, but like no one would have thought
No.
that. But it makes sense.
Yes.
Because if you think
Daddy
about it,
issues.
well, that and Darby just forgiving AR Fox for the like detrimental beatdown that Nick Wayne got.
Yeah, man.
So it totally, when they bring that all into perspective, I'm like, of course he turns on him. He was just waiting and biding his time.
So I guess what happened was Darby bumped into Luchasaurus in the back and forgave him.
yeah, because that's how Darby works apparently, because he did the same thing with AR Fox.
Dude,
I mean, I would have forgiven him. That was a hell of a match. I enjoyed every.
it was really good.
Kicked his
Luchasaurus
ass.
just absolutely decimated him.
But I feel like with the lights going out at the end.
Okay,
Yes.
before we get there, I got to
Yes.
talk about the match itself
Go
proper
ahead.
because Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. It started off. The first fall was all about because Christian Cage was like, you can't out wrestle me because you're just you're just a big stunt show boy. And the first fall was all about out wrestling each other.
Yeah.
And let Darby Allin show off his moves a lot more. And it was supreme back and forth. And he gets the surprise pin.
It's his turtleneck, right?
And he threw it up.
Yeah, he pulls a move he did before, which was he pulled the turtleneck up over his face.
And all you see is just like the seam or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like,
His heel turtleneck came to bite him in the ass. That's
Yep.
basically what happened.
oh my god.
So he scores that pinfall, and Christian gets up and he's like, right, well, that's enough of that. And he proceeds to just do his best to batter Darby Allin as
He's
hard
like, okay,
as he
cool.
can. And I forget how he secured the pin, but
So he, essentially, it was like he was gonna try to tombstone him.
Oh, okay.
From the curtain, from the
ring apron.
Yeah, ring apron onto the metal steps.
Oh, right, the steps. He was
And so
using the steps.
the first thing he did was he jumped, and then he dropped. He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. And he drops him to the floor. And then he took him from the floor and then beat him. And then he went back up to the ring and he did it again. And he actually made the jump.
The first
And
one.
he died. His soul
Okay.
escaped.
I'm spoiling it a little bit, but the first time he actually dumped him on the steps, I was relieved to see from the angle his foot took it.
Yes.
Like he took it via the foot.
Yeah.
The second one.
Nothing.
No. Okay, I took a couple of replays.
Yeah.
But his arm got his arm.
Got all of it.
Yeah, he got his arm underneath himself. So I was like, oh, thank God, it
But
wasn't just like his wrist.
arm went and hit step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was just.
It was
crunch.
either that or it was going to take it on the ribs.
Like.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, he does all that to him.
Yeah.
Batters him.
And so, yeah. Sorry, I don't want to take it from you.
No. I'm trying to remember. Again, it's like I rewatched this Monday. It's been 2 more days.
So
It's
he
like,
passed out,
Yes.
and essentially by count out.
That's
because
right.
he could not
That's
get into the
right.
ring
He
because
took
he
it-
was dead and his soul left his body.
That's right. I was like,
Christian got
it wasn't
the
a
second
pin.
fall.
He
No.
took the fall by being an absolute
Ass.
asshole, bitch asshole.
Bitch ass.
Bitch ass
Just
punk.
got in the ring and made the ref count him out.
Oh, it was
man.
Rimsberg, of course, and Rimsberg was like, well, fine. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the final one was he rips up
Things
the
got brutal.
the ring, right?
So they came out to basically just get Darby and take him for medical help. Like they brought out a stretcher
Yeah.
to put him on. And while all that's going on, Christian in the background very calmly is just going to the ring and unstrapping the ring mat. He's
like a
unstrapping the
psycho.
apron all the way around. Though they're still working on that.
He
And
literally steps over one
Yeah.
of the people who's putting Darby
He-
into
he
the
kn-
stretcher.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
Right.
my
move out my way.
he has to nudge Bryce out of the way as he's moving around. And he calmly gets in the ring, starts pulling it up. The commentator's just like, he's pulling up the ring
Like,
and the
what
padding.
is he doing?
Once he's done with that, once he's pulled up enough of it, he climbs to the turnbuckle nearest Darby on the stretcher and splashes him
And it's just,
right on top of him.
Oh my god.
Bryce is like, he basically goes like, what are you doing, you psycho?
you're a psycho.
Like, what the? I was like, what are you
What
doing?
is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
And from there, he takes Darby off, and he just they start fighting. And I forget how long. There is. This was in like first fall actually, but
Yeah.
there was the point where he walks over to Nick Wayne's mom.
Oh, yeah. And he
she,
tried,
And
you
she
know.
entertains. She's like, maybe I will. Splashes him with beer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. awesome.
And,
Yeah.
and as he stumbles back, Darby through the ropes just lawn darts him.
Oh my god.
Lawn darts.
Into the
That's what
rails,
it's called.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. I can hear it every time and just still giggle.
Because that's exactly what he looks like when he's
Exactly.
doing it.
Exactly.
And so back in this way, so this finally leads out to the point where he's battering him on the.
I mean, just.
Yeah, battering him in the ring. Like Darby's trying to fight back, but he's too hurt
He's
at this
just
point. So Nick
struggling.
Wayne comes out and he goes down to the ring. He marches out to there and he gets in between and he I think at some point he gets a chair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's yelling at Christian is like, what about everything you've done to me and my mom and my dad? And then he just
And he
slams
does
it on
the
Darby.
Seth.
Yeah.
He does a full Seth.
And Christian
was
goes
terrible,
from looking mildly confused to being good.
I'm just gonna say this little detail.
Yeah.
the kiss on the forehead had me
yeah.
reeling,
Whoa.
dude. Christian just goes, mwah, right to Nick Cage's forehead.
He's got,
And he's like,
by the back of the
"Yay,
head, like a
thanks,
proud,
other dad."
like a proud papa. Mwah, good boy.
Oh my god.
And they proceed to beat on him until Sting comes out.
right.
Which, no music, by the way.
No music.
He just walks out.
He walks out. It's like, okay. It's like he was trying to like let them handle business, but like, nope. You're hurting.
Can't. I
Also,
gotta
You're
step
hurting,
in.
You're hurting my boy too much.
Also, Edge, I need you to not look up the ramp. That was one moment where it completely took me out because he was like waiting. And I was like, it better not be Adam that walks out because I will be
You mean
pissed.
Christian? Was it who's looked up the ramp?
Oh,
Christian?
no, I said Edge.
You
yeah,
said-
Yeah, you
Christian,
did.
Sorry, Christian looked up.
Bury that
because-
lead.
Well, no. I think the reason for that was because Sting comes out to even up the odds and
Yes.
stop things, but then Luchasaurus runs out
Right.
to
Yes.
to
So there were-
uneven the
Yes.
odds.
So I feel like when each person ran out, I'm like, oh, okay, this is the end. And then another person comes
kinda,
up, oh,
yeah, they
this
were-
is the end. They totally returned to the Kingdom, right? Like they
Yes.
just kept
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
bringing people out.
Because
and,
Sting comes out and then he evens up the odds and he even holds back Luchasaurus for a bit, but
Yes.
then Darby's basically out.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
And Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus, and Kirsten beat down Sting and get him set up. Oh, that's right. That Sting came out because they were going to do a concerto.
Yes, there it was.
But then they beat down Sting. They get him set up for the concerto, and right as Christian raises the thing, lights go out, and you see a quick video package of somebody getting into a car and driving to the stadium.
And it's red lights.
and then you hear a woman's voice.
You think you know him?
And then like the tire screeches on the car and it says rated R.
I
On
mean,
the-
that
and-
honestly, it's a cool debut.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like it's real cool. And I heard that the woman,
It's Beth.
it's Beth.
It's Beth.
Yeah, like that's so cool.
Yeah, Beth is singing it like the rest of the song. Like it's him and Beth singing.
Oh
No.
They actually.
no,
it's the actual
it's
song.
the
They
real
licensed
song.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah,
that. I
because
misread
because
that.
of how
No,
WWE
article, my
handled the
bad.
rights, it was still open for them to license it. So.
That and they let the trademark for Rated R Superstar lapse.
Yeah. So he was able to.
So he
trademark
was
it for
able
himself.
to trademark it for himself. So now he has that. That is his now.
So he comes out. What's great about how Adam Copeland came out is the fact that he's walking out like this would have happened anyway, no matter what. Like he's just walking out like, yeah, I'm here now. He comes out to the ring, and and Christian is watching him suspiciously, like Gollum.
Like how? What?
It's like Gollum a little bit, like
Yeah.
leering at him, and Adam just is like, he just hands out. It's like Christian lets him have the chair, and he stands in front of Sting on the chair and raises it up. He does a lovely little pirouette, slams Nick Wayne. No, it was Nick Wayne in the back.
Nick Wayne.
Tosses the chair at Luchasaurus, spears him as Christian dives out of the ring, up the ramp, clutching the TNT title.
No, I love that little bit because Christian got out because he knows.
Yep, he knows.
Like he knows
He sure
what he's
does.
capable
He was also
of.
furthest away from Adam when he was holding the chair.
Yep,
It's like-
because he
Yes.
knows.
Yeah.
He's like, this is gonna go one of two ways.
yeah.
And I heard this comparison be brought up about Edge versus Adam Copeland.
He's lost his edge, yes.
He has technically, yes. But they compared it to Cody going to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So when Cody made his debut, it was literally like Control V, like over to from his character in AEW
Yep.
to his
Oh, yeah.
down to the his gear, his song, his entrance, like literally everything was like copy paste.
Yeah.
This is also very similar to Edge
Yes.
in his entrance with Adam Copeland. Like you have the Metalingus song, you have the smoke, you have him running around going yes, like with his hands out.
yeah,
like it's basically.
I have no doubt in Tony Khan just wanting to keep everything he possibly can of a recognizable character for each wrestler.
Oh, absolutely, and I agree with that. But I also feel like we're in the Twilight Zone right now.
It does feel weird doesn't it?
Because when you had Cody Rhodes come over and
Yep.
be the American Nightmare.
Yeah.
and what he was building over in AEW, seeing it on a WWE stage is still so strange to me.
Really?
Right? Because he was established as an AEW guy, same as Edge being a WWE guy. So when you put him in the AEW environment with basically being the same thing, it's like we're in an alternate universe. And I don't hate it, but it's still weird.
It's jarring.
Yes.
It's good weird because this is what it feels like to have competition again.
Yes. And again, it goes back to me saying it's a really great time to be a wrestling fan because the fact that we are able to see like Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill moving over to WWE, and then you have now Adam Copeland in AEW. Like, these are all three huge top stars in their own right in these previous promotions, now going over to the competition. Like, it's awesome. Like, now we get to see like so many more matches that we didn't think we would ever get to see.
Oh, 100%. And like we were talking about before, it's like when he came out, it all made sense. It all clicked. That's like, of course, he would have to come out during a match where Christian is there. To debut.
And this has to be the main event because if he comes out like mid-card, like what? That's going to be so weird.
And of course, Adam Copeland's getting involved in this because he missed his chance because of the brief window of Sting being in WWE. You know how big of a fan he would have been. He would. It's like, why else? I mean, why wouldn't you jump at the chance to also come in and not just work with Christian again? You get to do a program with Sting at some point. You get to be in this ring, shake his hand. It's like this is exactly what WWE couldn't offer him.
It's a WrestleDream.
It is.
Full circle.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool time right now, and I'm excited to see because he's on a full-time contract schedule.
That's right. He said
like he is not a part-timer anymore. He is a full-timer.
He said that was one of the things he wasn't a fan of working with WWE last time was they would part-time him. He's like, wasn't his choice even.
Yeah. So now he is on the Dynamite for the next couple of weeks. Like, he's slated, and he's he's here.
Oh yeah, he's here to stay.
So overall,
and he made mention if this is his last run, he's happy to do it here because he gets to do it with Christian.
And that just like warms my heart.
I know, right?
Just because they were so good together, and
They're
it just
real life best friends.
Oh, it's so good. And he's with FTR now, so it's like real life besties, like meeting at work now. It's cool.
Man.
Besties, neighbors,
right?
Yeah.
They both live in tree houses in Nashville.
Holler over the other mountain. Hey guys, what's up?
Exactly.
Oh man, just imagine how close they were to FDR when they were filming the end of Money Plane in his backyard.
Oh man,
It was like they wrapped on that and then they went and had a barbecue.
Lord have mercy. Money Plane.
One of the things I do want to compliment Christian on is like how he's styling his hair now, because when it gets mussed up during a match, it sits up in such weird, wonderful ways. It just shows off how frustrated and bedraggled he's getting in a match. It adds to the evil professor vibe.
Yeah.
Hey, hair and makeup has just as much to do with your persona, and that's with anything on stage, in movies, in wrestling. Like, the hairography is real.
Hairography.
Yes.
Yes.
But I mean, I feel like overall, like I said at the end of the NXT pay-per-view, like, this was a great show.
Fantastic.
I mean, yes, we do feel like some of the fat could have been trimmed off of it.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is one of their best shows that they've had all year. And they've had some pretty good ones.
Yes.
Overall, what would you guys give this one? Because I gave the NXT one a 4.5.
I have to deduce only for length, but I said a solid 4.
Yeah.
Solid 4.
That's what I think too.
I'll be honest, most of my wrestling analysis just exists on vibes, so I'll just go with like a thumbs up.
Hey,
an Orange Cassidy vibe.
2 thumbs up.
You know what? I can dig that. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll get 2 thumbs up from Chris and four Regals from us. That's a good way to combine our two systems. I love that.
Oh man.
But do we have time for ignorant slut real quick?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, so normally we have an ignorant slut for the pay-per-view and an EST, so like your MVP.
Okay. So what exactly is the parameters of ignorant slut?
So for ignorant slut, it's basically anyone that you feel like either did had the worst showing, either messed up the most, or it could have been one of the referees, someone in the crowd.
Even just a concept sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We've done that with like the only thing like we could nitpick was just the fact that this match was in the wrong place.
Okay.
On the card,
Gotcha.
It's a vibe check essentially.
Yes,
I understand.
Exactly.
So for me, I feel like my ignorant slut for just the both combined, we can just do that instead of one for each.
Okay, I had to think about that.
I just feel like the Seattle crowd is my ignorant slut.
Dude.
Just because.
We're tied.
Yeah,
We are
you too?
tied. No,
Yeah.
it is specifically the crowd during Hangman Page and Swerve.
Yeah, just because they ruined that match. I mean, they didn't completely ruin it, but like it was really hard to enjoy, because they were just not going along with what you were supposed to be doing.
I got it.
Yeah.
He's from here. That's cool. Now let him do his job properly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Gina, who is your ignorant slut?
My brain is so fried thinking about everything tied together. So.
Sure. I can give you my honorable mention if you want more time to think.
Yes.
Noam Dar.
You know what? You're right. You know what? You're right.
There's just some characters, and Chris, this is also part of the parameters of people we just can't stand.
Like we can't do it.
That's fair.
Noam Dar
I
is
get
one
it.
of those people, and
Yes.
I don't know if he's just so committed to this character
it's
that
a
is
really gross character.
right. That it really bugs me that he's also kind of ruining the Heritage Cup for me. So
You know what?
That
I'm going to sidestep just a little bit.
Yeah.
Same category, but all of the people that are with him who do absolutely jack shit other than just distract the ref.
you mean
because there's
metaphor?
I will never remember that. I don't know any of their names. The only one I know that's up there is Lash Legend,
Yes.
and that's it. And that says a lot to me. So
Right.
I don't remember your name, like her and what's her tits.
What's their tits?
I'll never remember her name.
That's true.
But yeah, that's my ignorance.
Yeah. Okay, so who is your EST?
You might have to come back to me for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. For me, honestly, it's gonna have to be Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a tie between her and Julia Hart for me, just because.
I was gonna give it to
Yeah, they were both just so great, but I feel like Tiffany in general.
Both the good options, yeah.
Yeah, like she
Yeah.
really is proving people wrong.
Dude, she's
because
crazy, man.
she looks one way and sounds one way too, which her voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Which is chef's kiss.
Right, which is she's doing what she's supposed to be doing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If it evokes that visceral of a reaction for me, you're doing your job right. But she just really is, like, they have strapped a rocket to her,
Yes.
and she is going with it, and I just, good on you, Tiffany.
Good on you, Tiff.
But yeah, Gina, who is your EST?
I have one for each.
Okay,
Because
go for
I
it.
just the Nick Wayne turn, man.
Mm.
That choice was so good. I didn't see it coming at all.
Nice.
Both Robert and I were silent for a solid good 2 minutes, staring at the screen with our mouths wide open. So that's my EST for that one, just because
I wasn't.
it
I was like, oh, you little bitch.
well, it was more of like shock.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
Anger. It was like all the emotions.
I appreciated that it turned out his mom had no idea. Like,
Oh, yeah, that I think added a lot to
Yeah.
it for sure.
The look of the just sadness, the disappointment. But the EST for NXT is just the match of Carmelo and Dragunov. It
yeah.
was like, I really wanted, like, I went back and forth with Tiffany too, but just the match in general was just so insane. And I love Ilya. Everybody who listens to NXT, this is Takeover. They know how much I love this man. So I appreciate him, and he's just batshit. And yeah.
Oh, the Johnny Gargano Award goes to Darby Allin always.
Absolutely.
So the Johnny Gargano Award is
Yeah.
someone who basically just has no regard for their body at all
Yeah.
when they're wrestling.
Yeah.
So Darby Allin gets that award.
I can almost tie Ilya into that one too.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good
yeah,
one.
We'll go.
Yeah.
all right, well, it's gonna be for me. There are a lot of good choices, but I'm gonna go with Christian Cage. Just
Yeah.
all of his work during the main event, like especially describing in between Fall 2 and Fall 3 what he was doing and setting up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, so great.
Good
I
stuff,
feel,
man.
and I mean, I was not actively watching when Christian was in WWE.
No.
But I feel like he is really tapping into something that he really hasn't done before.
This the way he's doing it is like it's something that he's done a lot of in WWE and TNA. He's brought everything that he's done there, and now they're really letting him go for it.
Just like
he deserves it,
he's
man.
only allowed to feud with people who have dead dads.
Oh, that's the
Like that's the only
well,
people.
no, that part is new. That part is he's latched onto that one. And
No, I'm just saying from now on, he's only allowed to wrestle people with a dead parent.
Well, did you guys? I didn't catch this till Twitter showed it off.
Was it the
but-
sign?
No. But what was the sign?
This is my this is my runner-up EST. There's someone in the crowd who had Christian Cage still better than my real dad.
Oh,
and
geez.
I snorted so loud.
No,
I was like, oh.
I was going to
Love me
mention
some dark
like
humor.
they did the memorial for Antonio Inoki at the beginning, and a dead father, and who does it cut to immediately after? It's Christian. Watching the monitor.
I didn't even realize.
Like
Yeah.
again,
Yep.
the ability. See, AEW has the ability to catch onto those things and run with them in a way that WWE just does not. They always fumble.
That was the guy who did the pan over to the sign for the women's match. That
Yes.
was definitely that man.
Yeah, that's
Oof,
true.
That was rough.
But yeah, that's a good choice. That's a solid
Solid.
choice. Well, we did it, guys. This was a
and we
marathon.
did it in so much less time than what was the AEW
Oh my gosh.
WrestleDream.
Honestly. But I know we have Fastlane coming up
Lord,
next.
we do.
Right?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Yes.
Or this coming Saturday.
This Saturday, yes. As we're recording this, it's this Saturday. But I think after that we get a break.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a break. But Gina, do you want to plug the show that you're in?
Sure. I'm going to be a part of Queen City Concerts Sunset Boulevard. This is a regional premiere of this musical, which is a pretty big deal. I am ecstatic to be a part of this cast. It is going to be at the Booth Playhouse in Charlotte.
Which, that's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
Nice.
If anyone who is familiar with this area in Charlotte, the Booth Theater is a part of the Blumenthal conglomerate, and it is it's a big deal.
It's pretty amazing. And we will have a 40-person orchestra on the stage with us.
Yeah, it's
going to
be
If you don't know the
great.
show, it's an Andrew Lloyd Webber, so it's it's dramatic.
It's fancy.
So it's going to be November 4th and 5th. There's only 3 performances, so I don't have that link memorized.
If you go
but
to Queen City Concerts,
it's
I'm
on
sure they
there.
have the link.
Yes,
But yeah, that's really exciting.
I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a blast. Yeah.
Well, Chris, if people want to harass you online, where can they do that?
No.
No? Okay, awesome. Gina.
I wish y'all could have seen his face. No.
Are you not on Twitter
I am.
anymore? Okay. You just don't want people to know.
Nah, I do it every time.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Great.
I feel like we are slowly getting off.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our stuff on Twitter it's not active anymore.
Mental health,
so
man, y'all.
it's
Mental
just-
health.
But Gina, if anyone does want to follow you,
Yeah.
where can they do that?
That's going to be Instagram essentially, and that's it. Broadway_baby1218. I am hoping to, repost and do a lot of things with Sunset. So if you're interested in that content, that'll be on there hopefully soon.
Awesome. And if you want to follow me personally, you can do that at SlayAllRay on Instagram. If you want to follow us for Long Walk Podcast, you can do that on all of the social apps under Long Walk Podcast. So I think that's going to do it for us. For This Is a Takeover.
Well, I also have an Instagram I don't want to share.
How dare you interrupt my outro to plug your non-existent Instagram account?
Oh, no, it exists. You
That was
just can't
such a
get to it.
Christian move. Dang.
Oh man! Now you interrupted my flow, man.
I'm so sorry.
You're the heel of this podcast.
I apologize.
He's grinning ear to ear, y'all. He is so happy he did that.
Oh man, this is just like adding to the chaos fuel that this episode has to it.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
Oh, it's fine.
This is a workover.
This is a workover. Well, for This Is a Workover, I'm Shelby Ray Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
I'm present.
And you don't have to be called up to the main roster. You're doing fine where you're at.
Love you, Chris.
Chris, that's it.